Hey, what's going on guys? This is 5 Large Fries, and today I am super excited to be able to show you some Smite Tactics alpha gameplay. So for those of you who have played this game or you know about the cards that are in this game, I'm going to show you the deck that I was using on screen now, so you get a rough idea of what I was working with. So later on in this video I'll talk about the strategies that I used to win, but first of all, let's talk about how you win. So in order to win this game, you need to reduce the enemy player's leader down to 0 health. This is represented by the green circle just below their leader. They can also concede as well, which you will see later on. The enemy does concede in this game because he was pretty much forced to at the point that I had him at. So what does this game remind me of? It reminds me a little bit of Hearthstone crossed with chess, and we'll talk about why it feels like chess in a little bit, but first of all, why does it feel like Hearthstone? Now, the reason why is because you have your leader, which is basically face in Hearthstone, and you have your different spells, which are items in Smite Tactics, as well as minions and gods. Now, in order to spawn a minion or god on the field, you need to place them in a free space that is adjacent to your leader. And you'll see this represented by a purple box around the leader of where you can actually spawn them in. Now, there are obstacles and stuff in the game, so for example you can see like this pillar here just at the top right of where my Zeus is. I can't spawn anything on that because it counts as an obstacle, so that is one space that you cannot spawn into. However, if I was to move Zeus down, I'll have the full amount of space that I can basically spawn things into. Now this is where chess comes into play, so you can effectively checkmate the enemy. And in order to do this, you surround the enemy leader with all of your minions and the gods, and your gods even, so they have no available space to spawn minions and gods into, because you cannot spawn two things on the same space. Now, this is really cool as well, because what they will be forced to do is they'll be forced to attack one of your minions, which then means they're going to take damage from that minion as well, to free up that space in order to either move, in their next turn, or to spawn something in that space on their next turn, which is obviously really bad for them because they're forced to attack, they're forced to take damage to their face or their leader even, and you're basically there with free reign to pummel them with as much damage as you can, which is a really cool strategy. Now, this is coming up to the end of the video, so I will talk about the strategies that I'm going to implement here in order to win. So, first of all, you can see that I was umming and ahhing about attacking the Aphrodite, but I decided not to, because what I had done previously is I attacked with the Basilisk, which is why she's rooted there. And the next turn I had planned to, if he hadn't attacked my Fire Imp, is to use the Fire Imp to attack the Aphrodite and wipe her off. Now, what's cool as well is, so obviously the different cards have different effects. So you can see right here, the Brute that he spawned has a taunt effect, and this affects everyone in a very similar area to what the leader would be. So my Aphrodite and my Basilisk there are taunted, so I can't use them to, say, attack their Zeus or attack their Aphrodite, which is really cool. Again, it adds that element of strategy into it. So what I ended up doing is I took out the Brute there with no real sort of issues at all. In fact, the Aphrodite was able to get a free 2 hits off on her, and the Basilisk was able to take no damage at all because of the effect Aphrodite has on her with the Link ability, the Kiss. So my Basilisk was safe, and I was able to wipe off the taunt. So therefore, I was able to have 2 more characters or 2 more champions and stuff like that on the field that I could use to attack the face. Now, obviously, I've taken out his Brute there, and I've also taken out the Aphrodite, so he's got nothing on the board right now. So I've got board dominance here, and I'm in an iron on what I was going to do. I didn't have anything to attack with at this point. I was just double checking there, make sure that I hadn't, and I go ahead and end my turn now. So, to see what he has. And I think he spawns a Brute at this point, a Brutus, or I can't pronounce the name, but I'm just going to call it a Brute at this point. So he spawns one of those, and I think he moves his god back, which I think was a bit of a bad move on his part, because at the end of the day, I was still going to screw him over regardless, and I think I was able to spawn I think I spawned one of my Furies in at this point, which has 6 attack and 4 health. So what I plan to do is I plan to move my Zeus forward, spawn a Fury, and then next turn use the Stone of Gaia to double the health of that Fury. But at this point, because I've spawned it in, he knew he was screwed at this point. He conceded, and that is GG for me. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. It would help me out so much. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, subscribe because that helps me out more. And I shall see you in the next video.